the show time. So that's gonna be under your realtor remarks at the bottom there. If you wanna look at the actual listing, then it's fine. So obviously you have to, follow those instructions. Always call the listing agent to see if the home is available and if there have been any offers. Set the home tour date with your buyer with a specific start and end time. When you're first starting to put a tour, thank you.
And time, yeah.
Sometimes I read this. Right.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't hear that song.
Sure thing.
It's tough because the first time you go out with a buyer, you don't know, some buyers, oh, I don't like this, I don't even need to go inside. Oh no, let's go inside anyway, market knowledge, da-da-da-da-da, boop, 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 boop. Other buyers go up and walk in and go, oh, I would never buy this house. And then they proceed to look in every closet. Open every drawer. So, my point here is, you don't know their timing, right? You don't know the rhythm the first time you go out. So then how do you go, okay, how much time do I leave in between? Because it's nerve-wracking, even when you're experienced, and it's difficult to, put things in a right order. If I'm working in Kihei or in any area where I don't have to go too many places, just in one little area, then, I usually set mine 20 minutes apart, sometimes 30 minutes apart. Right? And the beautiful thing, especially when you're working with visitors, is that in between, you can cruise up to the Seawalk, or what's that called, Gannon's place, and show them that nice view when you're showing them around while they are. There's things to do in between. You go through, get a coffee, or, what have you. It's just the way it is. It's not a science. So you're going to, determine the amount of time you have, and 3 to 4 hours touring 5 to 7 homes. If you cram too much into a tour, you'll blow up probably. It's just too much. It's just way too much. So, even more important, while you're going to refine the list down to the best of your ability, make sure you're hitting the right ones. Sometimes they need to just, if they've come from a market where the pricing is different and they're overwhelmed, it doesn't happen as much anymore because everything else is expensive now too. It used to happen more. People from Cincinnati would have heart failure, people from Beverly Hills not so much, right? But if they're not getting what they think they can get, you have to adjust. But you usually have to go out and show them that. This is what you're going to get for this. And then they're going to maybe make some adjustments if they can. So, try to get 24-hour notice if possible. If you want other agents to love you, and I'm telling you, your relationship with other agents is super important. If you're up against other deals and all things being equal, they're going to choose the agent they like, that they know is going to do a good job, do their share, and is honest and all that good stuff. So your agent relationships are super, super important. It's really nice if you have the ability to give them 2 or 3 days notice. Awesome. Do that whenever you can. Now, if it says you must have 48 hours notice, doesn't mean you can't call them up and say, dang, I saw that, acknowledge it, but is there any way I can piggyback? Do you have any showings on this date? Or do you have any showings tomorrow? Maybe we can just come behind, or I can come behind and preview if that's what you're doing at the time. Okay? Check with your buyer to make sure they have earnest money ready if necessary. Check. Preview the homes and eliminate any that do not meet their criteria. Prepare and educate yourself about the homes and the demographics. Be their source of information. That's good to know. So in your initial meetings with these buyers, kids, schools, all that kind of stuff, right? So, yes.
For the preview the homes, is that gonna be like a drive-by, or
If you can get inside, that's ideal.
if there's an open house or something to do
Sure,
that? But
yeah.
if nothing else, just drive-by or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if nothing else, at least you're getting your route down, and that's gonna just give you confidence. Because, when you're busy, you're visiting them, you're trying to play grown-up, it's just easier. So give yourself a break that way. I always do it when I can. because it makes me look good. Oh, here we are. Versus, or listening to, Siri. Determine which route to take, always showing the best homes first. Honestly, thank you. You're my little mirror here today.
You might wanna save the best for last.
I
Might.
more than often save the best for last. It's the opposite of what they're telling us here. So that just goes to show in this business, there are many different ways of doing things.
Makes sense. And they finish on a high note, they saw the bad one, and then they see the new one, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is.
Yeah.
Final impression.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel like they sealed the deal at the end. We did it. They feel accomplished, like they can walk away and sign the deal instead of seeing another
Yeah.
place later on.
By the way, if you're showing like 6 homes, there's software, there's websites online that are route planners,
Mm-hmm.
where you can put in the 5 addresses, and then you can say optimize the route, and it'll tell you the best route to take to optimize your time, so you're not going back and forth.
What is- what
Great
is-
idea. Even Google Maps, you can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but then you gotta do each one, I mean, well, you can only put 2 addresses in. What was the name of that?
Well, there's a number of them, there's
Where you can put multiple.
My Route Online.
Okay, so I'm gonna,
There's a number of them.
hold on a minute, because we're trying to gather all of our resources to share with everyone. So what's it called, Bob?
Well, there's a number of them. There's My Route Online, there's Road Trippers, these all end with .com.
Yeah.
MyRouteOnline.com, RoadTrippers.com, road-route-planner.com. There's a number of them.
And you can just put them all in.
Road dot what?
Yeah, I mean, you put in the 5 addresses that you're gonna go, and you say optimize the route, and it'll say
Yeah.
which one you should do first, which one you should do last, it'll have a little map.
What was that last one? Road dot.
Hell, I don't know, road-route-planner.com. Let's just see if it's any damn good. There's a bunch of them,
That's okay, this is good.
there's a lot of them.
What's
I'm
the
gonna
best
give
one?
these to Nicole, and she'll send that out with the email, so you have that resource. I like that. Anything
Very
to
good.
make it easy and
Yeah.
to be professional. It's a beautiful
It
thing.
should be, surprised by that, especially at that level.
Arrange to meet with your buyer at your office or in front of the first home you'll be touring. Print out 2 detailed MLS information sheets for each property you plan to tour with your buyer. So you've got your agent listing, that's what you're looking at now, and then you can go back in and you can print customer, which, like Bob said, is gonna have your branded information on the bottom. And then they won't have access to the listing agent or anything, and it's buyer's friendly or what have you. So you're gonna have a copy of each. I typically get together one of our nice Keller Williams folders. I put a copy of the transaction. When I first meet with them and I give them all these goodies, I say, hey, this is gonna be exciting. I don't not want the first time that you see this paperwork to be when we're all giddy writing up our deal, right? I don't want that to be the first time. So I give people highlighters. I have a lot of highlighters. I give people highlighters and I say, hey, when you guys are sitting down, having coffee in the morning, walk through this. It's a lot of boilerplate stuff, right? It's not exactly exciting reading. But if there's anything that needs further explanation or that you don't understand, highlight it. And when we're together next time, I'm gonna answer all those questions for you. Okay, so you want them to see the paperwork.
That's on like a purchase contract?
On a purchase contract.
Okay.
That's right. And include the dual agency. That happens a
Lead-based-
lot, because we're a big company.
Lead-based and all of that stuff too, or?
No, I don't think I would at that point in time,
Okay.
because they might buy a house that was built after 78 and it's not
Sure.
necessary, so
Gotcha.
kind of streamline it a little bit in that way. But I definitely put, that in my packet. And then when I'm actually going out, so now I give them a clipboard and I have it on it, and who wants to be my co-pilot? And there's usually one or the other and a couple that always, And so I say, great, here you go, and then I share with them that I have a technique that actually works great. And it's a memory retrieval system. And it's fun. So we are going to name the homes that we see today. Let's try to do it in 1 or 2 words. Like stinky cat. Because, 1470 South Key Hay Road or blah, 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 we're not gonna remember that.
It's
If
the
we
things
have
that can't
something
pronounce.
that, yeah, then as we go along, we can discuss, and, you know, Stinky Cat, versus, I mean, there's usually something, in the beginning, they say, oh, pool. Everybody has a pool, not everybody has a pool, but there are a lot of pools. But something kind of unique, and something usually is there. So then we write the name, I have them write the name of the house or the condo on the top of the paper, and, you know, I do the same thing, and then we can talk about it later and come back and forth. It works really well, and it's fun. Okay. Sometimes it's in reference to the owner, or, I mean, you just never know what's gonna happen, it's fun. Place the MLS information sheets in the order you will tour the properties. I actually number them, right? And include a home tour checklist for each one so the buyer can record their own comments. I just give them the copy of the customer. You can do that, and that's a great thing. You can add that to your packet, right? However you like to put your stuff together. But if you're on the fly or if you're whatever, for whatever reason, they can write lots of notes on that customer printout, which would be fine, yes.
At the top, when I do mine, I put 9 o'clock, 9:20 on the next one, 9:40 on the next one, keeps us on track.
Yeah,
As
I do
opposed to
too.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I put number 1 and then the time on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
very good, thank you. That's true, and then they have a kind of an idea too.
Oh, we gotta get going.
Yeah, gotta get going. Oh, time for a cup of coffee, that went quick, where you don't have to be there for 30 minutes. It's okay, make use of the time. Make a copy of the 5 must-haves sheet that was filled out during the buyer consultation and include it with the MLS and home tour checklists you will give to your buyers. That's good, because you can reference back, you know, you have to take a peek at it yourself and go, oh, wow, this doesn't look like, you know, you say to yourself, this doesn't, they love this place, this does not look like what they said they wanted it to call. It's pretty interesting, yes.
Our 5 must-have sheet, are we gonna find that in Command on the Google Drive?
Oh, that's a good question, where is that? I think it might be in the intranet market,
Okay.
I'm not sure. Let me write it
Yeah.
down and find out. 5 must-haves. I think it might be, you know, in the 50 documents that are inside the our KW Maui.
Okay.
Internet, I think in there, but, you know, you can go into kw.com and Google.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
not
look-
Google, but search.
I'll say look in internet.
Yeah. Okay. Page 17, help buyers view homes. If their dislikes are things like the yard size or structure of the home, things that cannot be easily changed, just ask them, hey, is this a deal breaker? There's no way we're gonna fit your baby grand into this living room. Is this a deal breaker? It helps them to stay on track, because remember, they got all this stuff going on in their head. Plus, it shows them that you're paying attention, right? Because when we're making this huge, huge decision, we need to know that the person helping us has our best interests in mind and is paying attention. When it comes to things like wall color or lack of landscaping, discuss easy, low-cost solutions and help them see past these issues. Boy, I can tell this could be kind of a big job once you get in the property, but man, you know what? If this seller had already done this, that, and the other, we'd be looking at a higher price and we have more competition, because if there's one thing that helps you to make money in real estate, it's having vision, right? Sometimes they want something that they can't. Like I said, you know, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And then we go through that process and I go, okay, now what did the mortgage person tell you could borrow? And then I go online and I pull up things in that price range. And I say, oh, we can't get 4 bedrooms, only 2. What are we gonna change? What are we gonna do? It's just the process. It usually all works out. Have your buyers use, use the home tour checklist to guide them as to what to look at in the home and to make comments. The home tour checklist is in the Ignite toolkit. Do you know how to get to that? So the Ignite Toolkit is under, I can go right to it if I was on the page, but maybe education on the front page or, anyway, yeah, just, you can see on page 18, there's a home tour checklist. It's nice. Now, I don't always use all this stuff, but I tell you, if I know I have an engineer mind, I pile it on. I give them every form and every, you know, they like that. They like that. If you have, you know, somebody that's, I'm pretty pragmatic, but I'm a touchy-feely gal. I wear my heart on my sleeve, you know? You don't have to give me all that crap, just go show me a place to get me excited. Excuse my language. But that home tour checklist is good. Touring the home, interesting, page 19. What are you laughing about? I love it, go ahead.
Ring the doorbell even if the home has a lockbox.
Yeah, good
I've
idea.
sold condos where you walk in and you think nobody's there and all of a sudden there's people in there and you walk in on them and,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mm.
Because the rental agent said, oh, they
Yeah,
weren't
I've been
supposed to be
waiting-
in there until tomorrow.
I've
And
been
here they are.
waiting 31 years to have that happen to me, and it hasn't happened yet. How
Happened
did
to
you get
me.
lucky?
Happened to me. Oh, God, I'm sorry for
Not
walking in on
funny.
you. Yeah. You learn pretty quick to knock.
If the property is occupied, ring the bell at least twice before entering. Do the, hello, real estate agent, honey, I'm home, whatever you want to say.
FBI,
Yeah.
drug enforcement.
Oh, they put this in here. Have your buyers give descriptive names. That's very good. The Great House, the Creek House, the Fountain House. Oh, the Smelly Cat House. Yay. Couples, they might want to exchange opinions on their own, so you also want to give them a little private time, right? I mean, please don't walk in and say, here's the kitchen. This is the bathroom. Here you go. Yeah, just say, hey, I'm gonna wander, let you guys wander, but I'm close by if you need me. While touring properties, avoid making comments. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you that enough. I have totally blown it so many times.
You said
Because-
avoid making
Comments. Like, oh my God, who would live here? I would say that, but,
Yeah.
oh, I love this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at those ugly paisley curtains. Oh, God, I love paisley curtains.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't.
Don't make their decisions
Don't.
for them, and it's really hard, it's against human nature, we have a tendency. So, just keep that in mind, and don't comment a whole lot. Listen to them and respond to their comments. Instead, let buyers come to their own conclusions and instead ask questions. You wanna get inside their heads to determine if this home is really a match for what they want. What would you change about this house? That's a good question to ask. This can give you the knowledge you need to get them to the proper house. You know, what's missing? I like it when you say, hey, this has 4 out of the 5 things that you said that it was important for you to have. In this home, how do you feel about this home? Can you live without that 5th thing? I mean, don't assume too that, oh, this doesn't work for you because da-da-da. Because again, everybody's changing all the time. Help buyers identify their perfect home by pointing out the benefits, not the features. Are you guys kind of clear on that? Benefits versus features? So, you know, a benefit is a big backyard. A feature would be a wonderful place for your dogs to play. So I think salespeople often point out the feature rather than the benefit. That's a big mistake. It doesn't work in advertising. It just doesn't, because that's not kind of how our brains work. You know, you're going to feel, you know, so always do the feature. Hi, you're gonna come in and bug us? That's okay.
This is Mario, he's going to fix the internet.
Yeah, are you tired of coming here?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not
We're pretty nice.
Yeah, you guys are great.
This computer, is it still having the issue?
I imagine, I'm not online.
Okay.
But you can do your thing and I'll do my thing. How's that sound? What was your name again?
Mario.
Have you, thinking about buying or selling real estate?
Not yet.
No? Maybe you have friends or family members?
not right
I'm sorry.
She's just messing with you, brother. She's just messing with you.
He works by the hour, so let's just.
Okay,
now.
okay.
Alright, sorry.
Yeah, you can do your thing, I can ignore this. We don't need it, do we guys? Do this. And, I will, I'm injured, so it's so hard to use my computer.
Need any help?
Well, yeah, I need a lot of help, but when I get home today. There we go. Oh, yeah. Save my good pen. Okay.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on that, as far as the difference between pointing out the amenities or the benefits? So, isn't it, you know, I mean, I feel like saying that it would be a nice place for your dogs to play, just kind of help me understand. So but you're saying not to really do that, to just say.
They say that they love to cook and they're a chef,
Yeah.
then you don't say, oh, look at this Sub-Zero refrigerator. You say, oh my gosh, you're gonna be able to entertain this, you know, this kitchen, that's
Sure.
what it is, it's gonna
I
do in
understand, so you're
your
painting a
life.
picture for them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying it was the opposite, now.
No.
I may have said that, but I'm
Sure.
not right.
Yeah, no, I just understood.
Yeah,
Customers,
okay.
customers buy benefits, they don't buy features.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure,
That-
exactly.
That's right, yeah, yeah, so,
Got it.
okay, good. Let's see, so help buyers identify the perfect home by pointing out the benefits, not the features, that align with the needs, wants, and values you've already identified with them. Features are attached to the property, benefits are attached to the buyer. That's exactly. For example, if the home has new windows, point out the benefit, not just the fact that they are new. New windows mean you'll have lower utility bills, so you'll have some extra spending money every month. That's nice. Yeah. Finally, ask the buyers, have the buyers rank the houses you have shown them in order 1 to 5. If you're working with a couple, have them do it together, on their own, do it at the same time to see if they're together. By the way, they often are not, and so it's a good exercise, because then that, it helps them to figure out what they need to agree or disagree on. I could have sworn I turned that off. Sorry. Turn it off. Finally, ask the buyers, do you see yourself living here? Follow up with why or why not. They respond affirmatively, ask, are you ready to make an offer today? I usually tease people and say, say to a man or a woman, homes are a lot like old boyfriends, or a lot like old girlfriends. If you can just take the best part of this one and this one. Okay, let's go to page 20, home touring etiquette. As a professional agent, it's important that you observe basic etiquette when showing homes to your buyers. It's everything you know anyway. Leaving the home as you found it. Look for and observe all touring notes in the realtor notes or given by the listing agent. Careful about pets. Leave a card on the counter. They don't have to do that here, but you can if you want. But, there are markets where you have to. It's the law. Make sure to secure and lock the house when you leave. And notify the listing agent if you notice anything is wrong. People don't hardly ever do that. I always do that, and they're so grateful. They're so grateful. I was in a house very recently, and they had a water drip. Oh my God, that drove me crazy. So I took action, and I made sure that the right people found out so they could fix that.
Or you walk into the house and somebody before you didn't lock it.
Yes.
Here the lanai is wide open.
I know, it's
Hello?
crazy. Yeah,
You wanna let the person know that, dude, they didn't lock it up before.
yeah. On page 21, it talks about benefits. We're gonna break into groups again. When you've gone through this exercise, we'll have one person from each group read the benefits and have the class guess what the feature is. We'll just spend a minute or two on this, but it could be fun. So working with a partner, you use the chart below to list the 3 common home features you might want a buyer to notice. For example, a new roof, fireplace. List the benefits of that feature, and when called upon, stand up and read the benefits of the feature you listed without naming it. The class will guess what feature you're talking about. If you have extra ones, you can do that too. This can be a quick one, but it's kind of fun.
I think I got this.
Alright.
So, feature would be
This is what we bang into all the time.
the double garage and then an extra parking space.
Why would that?
Benefit would be they like to host parties and they like to entertain all, so they're.
Yeah, it seems to me that the feature is the core, whereas the benefit
We'll do a
is
fine
the
size.
emotional thing and how it applies to them.
Personally.
Yeah, totally. So like, for me, it's outdoor, lots of outdoor space I really like. That would be a feature,
They live in Maryland.
like say,
All these
Lanai.
people come, like you need like a certified.
So, Lanai and
Ranges between
yard
$2,000
space.
and $20,000, just the old home, like just getting all done.
And the benefit would be a place to relax.
No, yeah, so I think that.
Does that
Slash
sound?
sunbathe, yeah.
Yeah.
One, it's a feature, but a one-level home.
Sunbathe, they like to take their coffee outside in the morning.
I mean, there's just.
I'm a big coffee person.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. It's fun because you don't think about it.
I think about everything. I do. Well.
You would.
Let me know when you've all got your 3.
So, I mean, that could also play into the, they like to entertain.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Ample
And the
parking.
same thing with outdoor space as well.
Yeah.
That could also be the benefit.
There's your color.
You've written a few house descriptions. I went back to the deck.
What company were you with before?
I would,
Never had any of this stuff. Never.
the
Pretty awesome,
feature
isn't it?
is, it
It's like
has
one of my
solar
favorites.
panels
I mean-
and they're really big on
People that
going
go
all
there should know,
natural.
Mhm.
You know, they're great, they're not
Stuff
using
like this, 'cause
electricity.
there's
A similar
most
one with
places
that
don't
would be
have
lots of,
most of it.
natural
Not
light.
even
It's one of the
close,
first
That way
things I
you save
mentioned.
on
Sure.
electricity
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff
You guys are so
too.
lucky.
That's a natural right.
I started selling in the 80s. You had to build all your own systems, all your own everything. Yeah.
Solar panels.
Were you?
Thank you so much.
I was actually
That's so hard.
talking
Environmentally
he said,
There you go, those are good words.
Realty, and he said they wouldn't even collaborate with each other. They said it was.
Oh, yeah,
brokers-
culture is important too.
The broker would not even check things out
You're
because
so
they said they're
sure.
liable for their mistakes or something like that. So he's like, I didn't know anything.
Yeah,
How many pages was the DRO?
we make a good team.
Man.
Maybe 3.
Are you on the team?
Mine is like 6.
I'm not.
Yeah.
There's ones that were Google Maker that was 2 pages.
Yeah.
See, do you know,
Oh,
This
I
is
know.
all DROA and not a purchase
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
Deposit, receipt, offer, and acceptance.
I
Yep.
am not ready to join it.
You had to explain to people that they don't DRO, but now it's purchase contract.
I just do a lot of
something.
just for
That makes sense.
Awesome.
But my client.
You guys got your
is from the
3?
post office.
Okay, ladies.
But I do all of the showings and she gets me.
Awesome.
Choose one.
Um,
You don't have to.
okay, new appliances?
New. She's very.
You see the benefit and then they gotta guess.
Oh, okay, so scratch.
Yeah.
We just gave you the answer. Sorry.
Okay, ladies.
Okay, so the benefit would be for children, elderly, Great for elderly people.
Great for elderly people, for cleaning purposes.
Ground level?
Single
Yeah.
story.
Single level.
Single story.
Good job, good job. There are a lot of people are going, I'm getting older, man, my knee's bad.
Weird.
Are there prices?
They only wanna look
I
at
know,
the
that's what I was just
light.
thinking, I need to go to like, I need to go to like
Yeah.
Market in the dollar section and get some prices.
How about you guys?
One that we were just talking about, the benefit would be, you save money, it's environmentally conscious.
PV?
Solar panel.
Yep.
Bam. And natural light.
Yeah, we also said natural light would be the same benefit too.
Very nice, good. I finally got, I was in the house I'm in
Um,
16 years before I got PV, and life's much better.
I know, I talked to a listing agent yesterday, said that their monthly electricity because of that was only $20 a month, and it's like
They must have net metering. That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's what it is.
Well, mine went, even without using AC, because I just couldn't, unless I absolutely had to, it just blew up my electric bill. So mine, on my property, went from about 400 to about 135 a month. And that's when I'm running AC and stuff, so it would have been 500 or 600 in the hottest months, never went over 150. And my bill this last time was $90.
Awesome.
It's very exciting. But I had to get a new roof before I get a new VV and so it took a while to get here. It was worth it. Yes, Jim?
The kids can go straight from the house to the ocean without crossing the traffic, so it's safer.
Oh,
They can go straight to the ocean without crossing the
From the house, they can go straight from the house to the ocean without crossing traffic.
They're on the ocean side.
oceanfront.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a nice one. I like it. Good, good job. Okay, let's see, where are we? Recognizing buying signals as you tour the home. Paying attention to your client's buying signals. Pay attention as you're touring. This will give you the leverage you need to help your buyer make a decision. Once you know who the decision maker in a family is, keep your focus on them if possible. And I have a couple of things I'd like to add to that. When you sit at the office, if you are having them come in for their consultation and you chair, pull both chairs out and you go there and let them seat themselves, because the decision maker 90% of the time will sit across from you. So 2 chairs straight across and then 1 to the side. Let them choose their own seats. It almost always is the case. Okay. So there you go. Had another thought. What was it? Let me come back. Once you know who the decision maker in a family is, again, keep your focus on them. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I also, just to make sure that there's no misunderstandings, men do a lot of talk to the man, eye contact with the man, maybe give them a little more attention as you get to know each other. Women, focus on the woman, so that they don't think you're giving more attention to their husband or their man. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, you know. Once you, that's the first time. Remember, they're sitting down. If they haven't been referred to you, which that's why you want to work your gold mine, your, you know, personal sphere. Because if someone's referred to you, you don't have to break down that wall, right? Someone that they trust has said, go see this person. But more often than not, there are a few little walls we need to break down before they go, you know what, I can trust this person. I can see that they are looking out for me. You're going to do that by listening, by asking 3 deep questions and doing what you do. So in the beginning, I'm just a little careful, you know, that I give my sex in the couple most attention, and then usually that kind of just dissolves away, but just to be sure that everything's kosher. So lots of buying signals. Body language and facial expressions. Asking about a seller's motivation. That's a good buying signal. Asking detailed questions such as about the seller's disclosure or taxes. Visualizing furniture placement. You wanna make sure when you list a property that they have it look homey, but not so much stuff that they can't imagine, a buyer can't imagine where their things would go. It's hard to see if things are cluttered. Comparing other houses to it, discussing new paint or carpet, sitting down in the house. I love that one. They sit down on the living room couch. Woo-hoo! That plus couples start kind of grabbing on each other. I mean, nothing risque, but.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look at that.
My finger hurts. Becoming protective. Oh yeah, that's a fun one too. Not wanting any other buyers to see the property. Asking for a second showing. And number 10, raising objections. It's a common misconception that objections such as I don't like, whatever, means that a buyer is not interested in a property. Objections can actually be strong buying signals. When buyers raise an objection to some features of the home, it may mean they are imagining themselves in the home. So they're going, I like this home, I don't like that, but I'm still looking into it, I'm still thinking about it, because again, we keep going back to homes are bought on emotion, so.
It's becoming more concrete to them, the actual idea of living there, it's not just abstract.
And you wouldn't go there if you weren't considering it,
Mhm.
so it's, you know, be considered. What else might be a buying signal? Anybody think of something fun to share?
Spending, not wanting to leave,
Oh, yeah.
like continuing to take a look at it, even though you're like, we do have the next
Yeah.
showing in a few minutes. I wanna see one more thing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you can think of?
Just the facial expressions, they're changing body language. It's
Mhm.
just different whenever it's the right one. It's just a
Mhm.
different feeling.
Sometimes they get very afraid. Not always, but there are people that, once they've found something they like, they go into this nervous Nelly thing. And, so that's when we need to be very careful to take good care of them. You know, pay attention, solve your concerns and all that. Good, okay. So, the next couple pages have scripts, which are good. Oh, I guess just one page. If you haven't already, I'd recommend that you start like just a little 1-inch 3-ring note binder that are just for scripts, because you're gonna find them all over the place. All over in KW, all over in Ignite, all over in this, all over in that. And so when a script calls out to you, or as you're, you know, doing that, you can make a copy of it and then put it in your 3-ring binder. I did that not that long ago, and it's really been helpful. Because it's really good to have an accountability partner. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have anything to do with being new, but an accountability partner that you do script practice with, even if it's only 10 minutes twice a week on the phone or what have you. Then you have that book to grab and boom. Alright, so it's also about efficiency. Or when you're sitting down to do a project and make calls, then you can also, you know, go, oh, this is for these kind of scripts, this kind of script. Scripts, systems are the solution. Do you wanna read the first one?
The first script,
Yeah.
the objection is, we love it, but we haven't seen enough properties yet. This buyer, my role is your buyer specialist, and the reason why we met for a consultation is to sort through the homes that meet your criteria and only show you the best available homes, the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And the best homes on the market go fast, usually in 1, maybe 2 days. If you love this home, chances are someone else does too. Are you willing to lose the perfect home for you, your wow home, the one you will absolutely love, just so you can see everything out there?
I'm gonna stop right there. Our average market time is not 1 or 2 days. And I'm an honest person, see, I couldn't, it's okay, because there's lots of different scripts, we're all independent contractors, we're gonna do things the way we do things. If in the future we're in that market, then yes, absolutely. And don't know if that would work very well right now. Do you wanna read this
Chances are
one?
there's only 2 other properties that actually meet their
Yeah.
criteria anyway.
Well, and if it is that sweet and that new, then this would make sense. This just came on the market, and we have a serious inventory problem. That's more the proper thing right now,
Right.
is to let them know that I get ya. And I'm gonna try to move around my afternoon so that I can do whatever I need to do, because to get you to come to a conclusion. Sure, no problem. Because I believe this is the right home for you, but I know you have to get there too, so let's do this now, so that you don't get your heart broken. Now, having said that,
Oh, we did, okay, I'll remember.
if that doesn't work
Okay, thank you.
and the house gets sold, they're gonna be easier to work with after that. Do you guys know Sarah?
Yep.
Hi, Sarah. Yeah, once they've lost something, then they know. And I tell people when it's that kind of a market, I need you to promise me something, Bob. I need you to keep your running shoes on. When I call, we're going. And all they have to do is either miss out on one or have multiple offers and not get it. It's painful. Painful for us too, by the way. Those kind of markets, you're working so hard, writing up all these contracts, and half of them don't go, it's frustrating.
No matter where they're from, no matter where they're from, the chances are the days on the market are a hell of a lot shorter than they are here. A lot shorter. Like Vancouver, I had a guy
Oh, I know.
from Vancouver say to me, if a property's on the market more than 4 hours, there's something wrong with it. 4 hours.
Do you know what their average price point is? 1.3,
High.
Vancouver, BC, 1.3. There's, I
4
think
hours.
Chinese,
Yeah.
influx of Chinese, they bought everything up all for cash, so that made it doo-doo-doo-doo.
And they even put a tax on people that were Chinese.
And they
that were
still-
and they
a
still,
huge
because they have
tax.
more money than
Yeah.
air, you know?
Interesting,
so.
yeah. So, yeah, that's, you know, if, a lot of people don't pay attention to real estate, but if they do, then to have a few insights as to what they're dealing with in their home market, especially if they have to sell a home, it's really good to be able to, point out the differences in our markets. So, what's the second one, Bob?
We really want a formal dining room. Remember our first meeting when we talked about there's no such thing as 100% house? Remember that?
Mm.
Well, we identified these things as the 5 must-haves in your new home. Now, has a formal dining room taken over one of these? Has it replaced one of these? Where are we at with this? And are you willing to let go of one of these in order to get the formal dining room?
Right.
We don't have many formal dining rooms here in Maui, just don't.
You know, that's really true, and, when you're doing your 5 must-haves, I really want a formal dining room. Oh, what is it about a formal dining room that makes this a priority for you? Well, I like to be able to have the whole family over for Thanksgiving. Or, anyway, I'm not thinking of something clever to say right now, but well, what is it about that? 3 deep with the questions whenever you can, you wanna do it. It reveals so much, you know. So yeah, you know, if everything else is perfect and it's caught their emotion and they love it, then they're probably gonna let that go. But if it is so darn important because they just inherited grandma's dining room set, and that's of great value to them, then they might not. And now you know that, right? And so you adjust and you do a better job of looking through their eyes as you move forward. Like, that's really a shame, because if this old boyfriend had the right dining room, we'd be good to go. Okay, good. You wanna read the last one there, Clark?
Sure. We don't like the carpet, paint color, or landscaping.
Oh, I like this one.
I hear what you're saying. This home does offer you a chance to add your own personal touches. Would it be better for you to pay a higher price for the seller to make the changes, or just redo this one thing yourself to meet your specific needs? Great.
Right. And, you know, when I first sit down with people at that first thing, I draw a big circle, I say, well, let's look at this as a pie. Can you tell me how much of this pie is your decision for personal lifestyle? How much is as an investor? what's important to you, so that you can find out kind of, you know, where you want to go, so that then later you can refer to, you know, the benefits of buying something that needs paint. So it's like, I know you're really tooled in on your lifestyle and stuff, but this is a fabulous opportunity for you to make a great investment. And so, if you can see clear to doing some of these things, you know, it is gonna help you build equity, and that's gonna help you. And especially if they have had to compromise. When people have to compromise, do you give up? No, you don't. You say, hey, let's find something wonderful. All I know is you're not gonna buy anything unless you love it. So let's assume, and you can count on, we're gonna find something good. That might be a stepping stone for you. Remember, this is the biggest purchase you'll probably ever make. And if you don't get everything you want, let's get your foot in the door now, because in a few years, hopefully, no one has a crystal ball, but things keep going up. In a few years, then maybe you can use the equity in your house to help parlay yourself into the home you really, really want, right? Just help them to, you know, they're busy thinking about their own stuff, so you wanna help them.
Paint, that's like.
I know.
Paint, I'll come over and paint that for you.
Yeah.
You're buying an $800,000 house and you're worried about a paint job?
Well,
I just watched a HGTV the other day and I had this little moment where I wanted to kill the lady. She's like, I don't like the walls.
You can't
I don't
watch
like
those,
your
you can't
stuff."
watch
There's
those
no
shows,
rhyme or
you can't
reason.
watch those damn shows. You can't watch them. I watch them all the time.